Right, welcome back to Total Dissonance. Today we are going to be spitting some serious dissonance on this podcast, I think.
Some serious facts.
Yes, some serious facts, some serious not facts, and misinformation as well. We thought that today would be an excellent day to rank every musical instrument. Classical musical instrument. Western classical musical instrument?
Yeah, we have to say Western classical musical instrument.
But also, if we missed a few, please don't think badly of us. We're just too sort of stupid to remember.
I've been slightly suspicious looking at this list now. It doesn't seem like
there's
the full
not many
size
on
of an
there,
orchestra.
Yeah.
Not too many, no.
I feel like there's definitely a few quite vital instruments missing.
100%. But you have remembered a bass clarinet at least, which is
I've got the bass
important instrument arguably in the orchestra. So
I would say that in a way the bass clarinet sort of binds the orchestra together.
It carries the whole thing.
Yeah.
And when any solo happens for the bass clarinet,
I think there's a reason why so many concertos have been written for it, if you think about it.
Well, exactly. Yeah. Especially how much has happened for it in the last 5 years.
Oh,
it's
definitely.
Incredible, really.
Yeah. All pioneered by Ed, actually.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, this guy, he doesn't stop playing the bass clarinet.
Changed the whole reputation.
Yeah. I think, in fact, the clarinet department now do not let him play the clarinet. You know, it's like he's been promoted, shall we say, to bass clarinet.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm convincing myself that's the case,
That's
but
the
I'm
case. It's a not sure. It's a promotion.
I'm looking forward to carrying my auditions for next year on bass clarinet and seeing how that goes for me.
No, it couldn't go better, I don't think. So yeah, we thought that actually we are two totally unbiased people, and by totally unbiased I mean we're so biased. So we're going to rank every instrument based basically on whether we like it or not.
Yeah.
So you're in for a hell of a time. This is going to be a heck of an episode.
This is going to be great. I'm looking forward to it. And we're also going to get so hated by virtually everyone, because I can't really imagine myself being too nice about any.
It can't really get worse than the TikTok comments already, can
it? No.
I think our popularity is like Emperor Nero towards the fall. You know, it's like they hate us. It's so bad.
And now we get the Nero's down.
Yeah,
we can only go lower.
We are literally at this point playing the violin as Rome burns down. That is what we're doing. So let's get started. I feel like the best place to start is the strings, because there's just too many.
Let's follow the order.
You can't get rid of them. You know, it's like you would walk around a corner and there's a violin case whacking you in the face from somebody rushing past to orchestra rehearsals.
No, exactly. But at least they have somewhere to go.
They do have at least they've got employability. Sort of is that a word? Yeah.
They're actually necessary for most things.
Exactly.
Meanwhile,
they actually sell CDs.
I'm trying to figure out the vending machine in the basement.
That's the only thing that matters, though. If you think about it, it's the only thing that matters. Right. Okay. Yeah. Let's start. I mean, I feel like with the violin, it can't be in the bottom 3 tiers, right?
No, it definitely can't. I would say there's reasons to hate the violin, but there's also a lot of reasons to quite like it.
I think you got to look at a lot of famous composers throughout history who learnt the violin, and the violin was like a very important kind of stepping stone to being able to compose lyrically.
Exactly.
You know, because most composers will know how to play the piano, of course, but the violin seems to be quite a popular second choice as well.
It's pretty universal amongst them.
Why, actually? Because when you start playing the violin, it sounds awful. I mean, my parents used to lock me in the basement for like a year.
Yeah, I also don't know why like people from early on chose it as an instrument to be like so virtuosic on. Like, you can do all that on the clarinet.
Okay, anything you can do on the violin, you can do on the clarinet, especially double stops.
Yeah.
That's the
multiphonic.
Yeah, multiphonic.
The best chords that we have.
No, definitely.
But let's put that. I would say the violin pulls on a night out.
The violin seriously pulls on a night out. I feel like if you listen to the Beethoven Violin Concerto, you listen to the Tchaikovsky Violin Concerto,
and then you feel like you're going to pull on a night out.
Yeah, exactly. You sort of go in there.
It's like an energy.
It is like an energy. Yeah, definitely. I feel like, does it crank serious 90s? I don't think so.
No, but then again, if the violin doesn't crank serious 90s, what could possibly crank?
Well, I don't know. I think there's a lot of potential in this list.
Yeah, okay, but, fine.
I think the crank serious, there can't be too many people that crank serious 90s.
No, there's definitely not.
You know, it's
there's not. We can't be too nice here, that's the point.
Yeah. I mean, like, we're not saying that they're cranky mild 90s, you know. They're not mild 90s, they're serious 90s.
They're serious 90s, yeah, for sure.
The violin certainly doesn't crank serious 90s.
Absolutely not.
Maybe they sort of crank the occasional 90.
But meanwhile, the viola.
Meanwhile, the viola, yeah, now this is where it gets funny. Okay, let's get the violin. We're going to get the violin on Pulls on the Night Out.
Brilliant.
Not that we speak from any experience in this matter, but the violin certainly would pull on a night out.
Yes, 100%. I think so. I
think
so.
Now we've got to the hot topic, really, the viola. You know,
I feel like we've not got the right to hate the viola as much as string players do. I've never met a string player that speaks highly of it, even the ones that play it.
Okay, you know what I will say?
But
I will say with the viola, it has a very important function.
It does. It does. I would say that's perfect for "I Will Tolerate Your Existence" because you know what I mean. Like you can hear it in the middle of the harmony.
But this is
it's like carrying that essential chord.
But this is it.
But you don't listen to it. Who listens to the viola?
No,
who
but
goes,
I will
oh,
say,
great. Like, oh great, like more of where that came from, please. In fact,
no. I kind of agree with you that the solo music that has been written for the viola is pretty awful. Actually, there's like a Walton viola concerto that's.
In fact, actually, I'm not sure I could name one piece.
No, the Walton viola concerto is good.
You know,
there's a Hofmeister viola concerto which is actually quite good.
Oh really?
But what I would say is that.
Hofmeister.
Yeah, the Hofmeister viola concerto. This guy, mate, he's better than Haydn.
Yeah, that's
basically.
True, that's
no, the thing with the viola is that because the tessitura difference between the violin and the cello is too big, the viola actually does have quite an important role
Fair
in
enough.
Like binding
Okay, we'll take that. We'll put it.
So can I put it in Phil's Out
concert hall? Yeah,
because I feel like without a viola, there is a bit of like a gaping hole.
No,
in,
there
like,
is in orchestra. Yeah, you need it.
You sort of do, I think.
Yeah.
So let's get it there. Also, we're going to make some friends here in the viola department.
Yeah.
Because this is the highest anyone has ever ranked them.
I mean, yeah, exactly.
It's like it couldn't have gone much better
one else
for
can
them.
see
Really.
the point apart from us.
I know. Right, cello.
Brilliant cello. Oh, I love the cello.
I love the cello.
That cranks so many 90s.
I think it's cranking.
It cranks.
90s.
It just cranks.
You know, it's got
man.
the OG skeleton skin as well. You know that the cello does.
Yeah, it's got the OG. It's got the one that came out on Halloween and then never came out again.
I'm so glad this guy knew that reference because otherwise I was going to get bullied on the internet. It's like, wait, am I in trouble here?
How could I not get that reference? My whole like lockdown summer holiday went to the skeleton skin.
Mate, absolutely.
That's perfect.
Yeah,
the concertos are beautiful, like just all of them.
These guys crank 90s.
No, they crank so many 90s. It's true.
I think they crank 180s actually. They're the guys that like
cranking 180s. If you actually ever played Fortnite, is less important than cranking 90s.
That's
You can't get up as quickly. Jesus, Tom, we spoke about that.
Yeah. We've already had this conversation so many times.
But cello, I love. I think it's great.
The cello has to go in the top.
I go through like my phases of listening to the concerto, especially like the Haydn. No.
Sorry,
I mean,
the Haydn is so useless. That guy, that guy's so bad.
But it's a beautiful instrument.
It's a beautiful instrument.
And also think like it does actually even need more orchestral like moments because I think like when they give that like bass. Any kind of melody, it's always just the best part of the piece.
Absolutely. There's a
the
bit in the there's a in one of my favourite operas, Pagliacci. There's this moment.
I think you might have spoken about this one before.
No, I haven't actually. I've spoken about Cavaliere Stracana, and they are performed together though. But in like one of the big tenor arias from it.
Yeah.
Well,
What's going on here? Which one's the tenor aria?
It's called No Pagliaccio non son or something, and basically it's like the moment that the tenor like rips off this mask and it's like, no, I'm actually not Pagliacci, I'm Canio, and you've been cheating on me.
And it's just a full cello moment.
But like, yeah, he's singing basically a duet with the cellos at one point.
Yeah.
And it's like really romantic. And he's basically saying, I dragged you off the street, and gave you a job and gave you a home and have cared for you your whole life. And he's like, there's this like dialogue with the cello.
Yeah.
And it melts my heart every time, man.
No, it's such a beautiful instrument.
It's got a crank 90s.
I really love it.
We're going for 90s.
I think one of my favourite. Have you ever listened to the Liszt piano concerto, the second one? And the second movement has a cello solo at like the beginning with the piano.
Okay.
That's like one of the best things.
Is it really?
We need to get onto making the Spotify playlist and then putting these
for
movements
people to
and things
listen
in
to.
because people like can go and find them. But it's easier if you go to one place.
It's our 6% of viewers that we have in Argentina. I think they're really missing out on the Spotify podcast.
Yeah,
on
exactly.
The playlist, sorry. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Crank Serious 90s.
Crank Serious 90s. Let's go for that.
So right, the double bass. Now we have some.
We've got to be a bit careful what we say now
because our producer,
is a fantastic double bassist as well as a fantastic everything.
But
there is a but.
But
just so happens to be the double bass.
My issue with the double bass is even when someone's playing it well, it still sounds like they're cocking up right. Sometimes it does. Sometimes it does. You know what I mean?
It does. You know what? But then how are you going to get the right note when your arm is just flying all over the place?
Mate, exactly.
To find it. I don't even blame them, to be honest.
Yeah,
and you must know what I mean as well.
Yeah.
At a certain level.
I think it's more about how good you are. I think, but like the top 1% of bassists can make it sound really good.
But this is the thing, though. It's like, come on. If there's an instrument that only 1% of the top people can do.
Yes.
Should we just make it easier? Can we have like a patch update on the double bass?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Version like 12.
There's like a baby version.
I know, exactly. I know.
It's so much easier for like the cello to sound. Because just
definitely
the way that the instrument is made.
Absolutely. Yeah, and it doesn't weigh like.
What's that concerto? Is it
Yeah.
And it's when it's played well, as you said, a 1%. Like it's incredible. You can actually listen to that and enjoy it as
definitely.
you would the same way something else, like a cello
100%.
or a violin concerto. It's fantastic because they hit it with like absolute precision, and it's just like next level. And also like, I'm a man of low frequencies, not like not my like voice, but my future instrument of choice, which we will come to. That's the double bass I can relate to.
Yeah, no, I understand that, but I will say I've had too many bad experiences playing in orchestras where the double bassists are doing, when they do those like pits things as a group, and every single one of them plays it at like a different point. It's like boom, 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 like a cross, and it's supposed to be unison.
I actually quite like when that happens. I'm going,
because they take all the pressure off you.
Exactly.
It's like now I just have to play some of the notes on the page. And
the conductor's going, so what was bass clarinet doing?
What was bass clarinet doing at that point?
Okay, all right. So let's put that in.
Can I? No, you go first.
I'm gonna say Phil's Art Concert Hall.
I think Tolerate Your Existence.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm not putting double. You know what? I absolutely refuse to put it below viola.
We'll go. Phil's Out of Concert Hall then.
Phil's Out of Concert Hall. Okay, brilliant. And it
does only
as
feels
well.
out of concert hall when you have
the beginning of Mahler 2.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, but again, played well.
I understand, but that's what when you watch a professional orchestra, you expect that. It's incredible. Yeah, it does, and it's the most amazing. Oh, and the Mahler 1 solo as well. Beautiful. It can be played.
Okay.
Really
You convinced me.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on to the guitar, which is actually we both love the guitar, right?
Yeah, I love the guitar.
We do love it.
I just need to hear something different from it at this point.
Yeah, and my biggest issue with the guitar, and I've thought long and hard about this for years. Is that the number of teenagers who strum chords on the guitar and sing along to it, and call it music,
and just expect the world. It's just
and think that they are going to be the next Ed Sheeran,
even on a professional level. Like, I've got my Spanish guitar playlist, etc., but I could just basically use that for meditation purposes. I'm not really sitting there like gripped by any moments. It's all a little bit kind of,
it just dampens,
I'm on the beach.
It dampens my enjoyment.
This kind of works for me. But I couldn't possibly like trash it though, just because
it's not going on the barbecue.
It's not going on the. Okay, can we say we tolerate its existence?
I think
Shall
so.
we do that?
It's a real shame actually, because isn't it the film score for, is it Deer Hunter? Deer Stalker? There's a film or something like that. Well, Deer Hunter. And the theme is played on the guitar. And it's one of the most beautiful sounds.
Yeah, no, it has its moment. And there's a Vivaldi guitar concerto as well.
Right, is there? Okay.
Yeah, and it's just beautiful. It's really nice, but it's just like, I just feel like when I'm listening to the guitar, I'm never hearing something that different.
Yeah, also, it's a very quiet instrument, which has issues with when it plays with other instruments.
It's actually kind of sad that not many mainstream composers from back in the day thought, let's give the guitar a concerto or something. I reckon they could have done something quite interesting with it. Explored a few extended techniques.
I guess that's part of it, is it going to play over an orchestra?
No, you're right. It can't, can it? Yeah.
Unless you have microphones.
The Vivaldi concerto obviously must have had such a small orchestra.
And I don't think Vivaldi had many microphones.
No, exactly.
In that period of time.
Yeah. No, sorry.
we're already bugging out.
The joke, my head.
Yeah. It's looking at me like, okay, definitely.
But this goes
we're tolerating the existence of the guitar. Okay, right. The harp. This is, I'm gonna speak out on this. I think the harp is pretty useless.
I think it's so bad.
Like, honestly, like,
harp is not good.
I don't really know what to say about it, and that's kind of the sort of most damning thing I can say.
But I can just feel friends just going down the drain.
Friends going down the drain. I don't have any friends.
You know what the fact is? The fact is that
certainly you don't listen to this podcast.
There are solos in orchestra and stuff that work for me. They hit a certain spot, but they always hit the same spot. It's actually a bit like the guitar. It always does the same thing. It sounds like it's kind of in like what's that video game, like the RuneScape soundtrack or something.
Okay,
like
I don't know.
That sort of mysterious, backwards sort of jive. But the fact is
that played on a harp or an electronic harp though? Is that being done using Logic?
The fact I can't tell the difference,
because you can't tell that difference. What's this for? For like video games, when you have like the sound.
Yeah, you've always got that like.
Is that going to be played on a real harp? Or is that going to be electronically produced?
It might be a VST instrument, it might not be a real harp.
Exactly.
But
that's what I'm saying.
Only application for the harp, Britain's Ceremony of Carols.
Is that a banger?
Yeah.
Mate,
get that on during some of the clips, etc. And let's
get this guy on the podcast. What's going on? He's already said more sense than the two of us combined.
Yeah, he's actually got facts to like bring to the table.
Yeah. Okay.
I watched the Friends Society the day on harp. I did love it. It was amazing.
It's a beautiful instrument. I don't think there's a lot of there's not a lot of variation to it, is it? Like you get a lot of the same thing.
Yeah, exactly. Also, how annoying would it be to play the harp? I once saw someone try to get a harp in the back of a car. I was
they
like,
do it in a
my
taxi,
God.
don't they? They always get like the Uber XL.
Yeah.
You know, to every concert.
They're using like college funding, and then they order the most extravagant like.
And it's like they're
tank to
probably
come
paid
pick them
like
up.
£40 for the concert, and the taxi costs £39.80. Like tipping the driver 20 pence. And that's just a full day of work.
Yeah.
You get home to sort of gone off mouldy sausages in your fridge, and
Exactly. I know.
A really sad evening.
It's a difficult one to get around.
So I'm harp.
So okay, so I.
Bro, it's ass. It's ass, isn't it? The harp is ass. This thing is ass.
Okay, the piano, yes. The
piano. Yeah, this does, it cranks.
You know what
Does
annoys
it crank
about the piano though is it doesn't really do anything like that different. Like every instrument, I'm thinking about wooden instruments here, has like so many extended techniques, but the piano like hasn't like it just every note sounds the same, you know.
But I feel like there's potential here for like more extended techniques to be created. So has any composer written a piece for like the pianist to bang their head on the piano as hard as possible?
Well, probably actually. Now that I think about it, there's like some John Cage music where it's all like
head banging
clips and etc. on the
exactly,
and that does sound really cool.
I don't think it does.
What's it called? Is it prepared piano or something? Yeah, when they prepare the piano.
So we have our piano representative correspondent, should we say? Our piano
and
correspondent. And cello correspondent sitting over here. She actually has a gun to our heads, and that's why I think probably both the piano and the cello will end up in Crack Serious.
Exactly, and she's a member of the fantastic Asta Teen Trio, which we'll have to link in the spot. No, we can't do that yet. No, we're waiting for the recording drop.
It's not.
But you have to go check them out.
Yeah, maybe give it a few years. Yeah.
Absolutely. she's looking shocked now, but she'll appreciate the mention.
What I love about it though is the piano is like, if you're awful, you can kind of make an okay sound on it, and I actually like that because music like. It makes it more accessible. You know, if you have every instrument is like impossible to play.
Yeah, to make a sound on
who's
it
going
so
to learn
long. Yeah, I know. I love and the concertos for piano are like the best thing.
Amazing.
You could knock yourself out on those
concertos. Yeah.
Just also the way that like you've spoken before about Chopin too. It makes me fall in love. Like with the piano
can we just
all over again.
Say that how eloquently I spoke about Chopin too.
You captured the whole piece, the whole essence,
which was it's great and it's Chopin.
So imagine trying to teach music theory without the piano.
Oh yes, that's a good point. Well, you could do it with the organ.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The piano was actually.
You're useless.
yeah. But then you can also do it with the harpsichord, which we have coming up next. Should we rank the piano as a 90s? Yeah.
It's in the 90s.
It cranks.
Serious 90s. Yeah.
Hold on, did we put violin in cranks? Yeah, we did, of course.
No, the violins are pulling on Night Out. It's a cello.
Oh, cello, yeah, cello.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, harpsichord.
I can't even tell the difference between a classical music podcast.
Yeah.
the images are strange.
No,
harpsichord.
Can I just say for the cameras that before this podcast, Ed called the cello the big violin. I'm just saying that.
Yeah,
he did.
I did. It took like a whole hour of explaining for me to understand what was the difference. I just couldn't get it around my head.
We'll get the hang of it. Harpsichord, right. We're getting this shit on the Barbie. It's going on the Barbie now. It's so but the thing is though, like it has its function, right? If you look at continuo stuff in rock music, I don't know. I know the St. John Passion very well. St. John Passion, great piece.
Yeah.
Right. Continuo. You got cello. You got harpsichord. You just replace it with an organ.
No, exactly.
And all the cantatas organ.
Yeah. You just replace it with a piano. Electric piano.
So in Bach's time, if you think about it, actually, they could have just done everything electronically, couldn't they?
Fundamentally,
they could there's like those MIDI keyboards that sit on their desk. You know? He's like composing into that.
The producing setup.
Exactly. No, the harpsichord is trash.
It's not good. There's like no pedal. There's not much to it.
Range.
The only thing that I appreciate about it is we could say it's ass because it created the piano, which just slaps so much.
Didn't the clavichord create the piano? I mean, it was from a similar, like, I know, I get that it's a similar style of, like, plucking the string rather than sort of hitting with the hammer. But, man, the harpsichord
is awful.
So bad, right?
Yeah. Also, like, people when they play the harpsichord try and make it look like they're having a really fun time, but you just know they're hating it.
Mate, you know they sort of couldn't get in on the course, on the piano course.
Yeah.
They auditioned and it's like, you sit down.
They got relegated. They're like, we've got a job for you.
You can just play first inversion chords all day in Bach.
Yeah, exactly.
And just sort of pretend to enjoy it.
Yeah.
What are we saying?
I'm saying throw it on the Barbie.
I'm saying throw it on the Barbie as well.
Also to move it swiftly on. I mean, I could spend about an hour talking about the harpsichord.
Eviscerating every instrument.
But just to not get ourselves in too much trouble.
Exactly. Yeah. No, we'd be in trouble. Okay, the organ.
It's just a building, isn't it?
It's a building.
It's just an
what
entire
came first,
building.
the building or the organ?
Exactly. Yeah. It just spawned.
The age-old.
Then everyone built like
yeah.
something around it.
It's built sort of house of God round.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just big old instrument.
Monumental thing. And also the respect I have for organ players. It's ridiculous.
Oh no, but they are the cleverest musicians, without a shadow of a doubt.
Cleverest, like most coordinated, most everything.
Yeah. To
like
be fair.
How
Yes.
can your like fight or flight response kick in mid-concert, but you still have that much control of your motor skills
Exactly.
that you're just doing things that you don't even know is happening around.
'cause
you. They've
like,
got like
if you
two
think-
sets of pedals as keyboards. That's
So they have
like,
so they often play on their manuals, and they're often a lot of organs will have 3 manuals.
Yeah.
And you have different sounds on each manual, which you're pulling out yourself. You don't have people helping you.
Yeah.
I mean, like in a concert setting, you wouldn't so much. If you're working in choral work, you would have somebody like pulling stops out for you. But then you have the obviously the pedals and the pedal notes in the bottom, and then all of that you have all these presets which are like these knobs on the bottom, which if you click them it like opens up certain sounds, and you're doing all of this stuff. Yeah, and the knobs on the bottom, you know, that's really tickled.
That's got to be just momentarily.
Exactly, yeah. But they are doing all of that themselves, whilst playing music.
Yes, exactly.
Which is mad. And also they improvise. The beginning and end of church services, certainly in a
Having
sort of
said
Anglican
that,
tradition.
with the music that's actually written for the organ, though, it's always like. I'm saying this about 4
it's a bit
instruments now,
lacking,
but
isn't
it's
it?
a bit lacking, yeah. And also, I'm not sure how musical they can really be with that, with what they have, because it's all quite like formal and all quite sort of like upright.
Yeah,
it's not, I haven't heard any like cool major rubato going on. Any kind
definitely.
of. I've just heard like extreme sophistication and like.
Yeah, and I'd say that you can't put it on a similar level to the piano, because with the piano you simply the power of the touch, like each touch, every time you touch the sort of the note, it creates a different sound.
Yeah,
Whereas the organ,
it can create colours.
you tap a note and it just opens.
It just
sort of
sort of
valve or
smashes
whatever,
out,
and, you know,
exactly.
it creates the noise. And it's the same with the harpsichord. Is like you lack that kind of sort of that very sort of like individual note.
Yeah,
kind of
it
colouring.
has the same response every time, exactly.
Absolutely.
So what should we do with that then?
I think we got to. The thing, I don't want to tolerate its existence though, because it has such an important role.
The music actually can be so beautiful as well.
liturgical
I
sort of
reckon we
process.
say the organ pulls on a night out.
Oh, whoa! I don't know if it's. I don't. I'm
You know
not
if it's that good,
I must
really?
admit, I've never seen any organist pull on a night out. Maybe. Maybe is that am I going to get in trouble here?
Absolutely not.
Can I justify it by saying I don't think I've ever been on a night out with an organist? I don't think I've ever been on a night out actually. These guys try and get me out all the time. I've always got some like awful excuse, you know, like cricket nets. And they're like, Tom, it's 1 in the morning. You know,
We were talking about what we're going to do in the summer holidays, and Tom's only condition was if the cricket was rained off, we can see each other. Maybe.
We can then
if it's not,
potentially record a podcast episode.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it feels out of context.
I think it feels out of console. Fine. I'll
say
say that much.
Maybe we need to edit this.
Yeah,
it feels out of
You know what?
church.
We're actually being quite nice to quite a lot of instruments. I don't think we're going to get hated at all. Or we're going to be divided.
Mate, we've got the piccolo.
Oh,
it's so bad, right?
It's so bad.
But mate, it's just annoying.
It's just never in tune. It's just never in tune.
I think the fact that they use it
I'm
for
not even
horror
blaming
movies,
the players.
I think that says it all, really.
Yeah.
It's like, we want people to feel as uncomfortable on their sofas as possible right now.
Exactly.
Piccolo.
Yeah. And playing behind one as a clarinetist in orchestra makes me feel like I'm in a horror movie every single time. It's just
I think you deserve
there's
more than that.
so many moments with the flutes and the piccolos playing chords and any kind of symphony that you can think of, and it's just the amount of work that has to be done just to sort out this like stupid little thing. It just takes
and also,
forever.
it's so little. It's so small.
Yeah, no, it's really tiny.
It's so small, and
that's actually kind of big.
That winds me up.
It's kind of big, mate.
Well, I think we can say average size.
It's average size. It's definitely average size.
It's definitely average size.
I would say it's a bit above average, though.
Okay, it's on the large side.
But I have to say I hate it though.
I hate it. It's the noise it makes. It grinds my gears.
I love the flute. Because what are we doing with it? Throw it on the Barbie. Easy.
I think.
How can it go anywhere else?
I mean, it literally has to go on the barbecue, right?
When it comes to the voices, by the way, I'm just gonna have to let you solo that one because.
No. We can talk about it. We can talk about it.
All right.
Okay, the
flute. Give me some examples. The flute. Love it.
And also,
really
I'd say in general, I've not met a flautist that I don't like. They seem
they seem nice.
They seem like very nice people.
Well, I know that they're nice because I like them all as well. They're lovely people.
They are lovely people, and that has to be acknowledged. I think
it does exactly.
That sounds awful now because it now sounds like the people we put at the bottom. We actually dislike
with the flute. I can't really tell whether someone's making a good or a bad sound. On every other instrument, it's kind of obvious.
I'm on board with that, but maybe that says more about the fact that we're so unmusical that we can't tell.
I'm watching that like dribbling. I'm like,
it hasn't started yet.
What? Yeah,
we should be on the panel for for flute auditions as a RCM.
Everyone's getting a job.
It's like, it's like so is that, are you holding a flute right now?
Yeah.
Is that a piccolo? Like, what room are we in? You know?
Exactly. But I think it's
it has some
but
beautiful
it does have a lovely sound and like more consistently than a lot of other woodwind instruments.
I mean, you know this as in woodwind ensembles. How important is the flute?
And I'm gonna say,
How important is the flute in woodwind ensembles?
No, it's really, really important. In like a wind quintet, for example, it will always add that sort of layer of it will be the highest in the harmonic range, kind of.
So it's the highest frequencies.
It always soars above with like these incredible melodies, etc. And
that's the beauty of high frequencies, is they can always be heard.
They can always be.
It's like. Well, in general, and that's why the piccolo is so grindy.
Exactly, but that's one of the things that flute players often struggle with, because I've heard in performance class many times, get the low notes sounding good. That's what you need to now focus on, because the high notes they can sing out, it can be beautiful, you know, and they have like so much motif for it. It's like a very natural sounding. It sings a lot of like bird song kind of.
As a tenor, I have sympathy for that, because the hardest thing is getting the low notes out.
Exactly, so that's why you get along so well with the flute players. Then
definitely, No, we just have the same sort of issues with our instruments. What are we doing? I mean,
okay, what's next then? Is that
no? What tiers it going in? Where's it going?
What am I talking about? Okay, no, I'm saying Pulls on a Night Out, the flute.
What? You're joking. You're being far too generous here.
No, I'm not. There's no way.
You really say
also, we've only got one in that category. I'm starting to feel like it's lacking.
Mate, I feel like ass is the harp is feeling.
Okay, I will tolerate your existence.
No, I think to tolerate your existence.
No. Can we say it fills out concert hall?
Does it fill out a concert hall?
It fills out a concert hall.
Okay, it does fill out. I will agree with that. It does fill out a concert hall. I'm just not entirely sure that flautists put on a night out.
Yeah, no.
Right, we're at arguably one of the great instruments of all time, the clarinet.
Yeah.
Bro, we hate this. I hate it. This will be a real sort of epiphany for Ed. Is it? He looks at it and thinks, I actually hate this.
No,
it's like he questions his whole existence.
Guys, I'm off.
This is it. He's stepping down.
Just finished.
Who was it who said? Was it Brahms who said that the clarinet alongside, was it the viola or the cello or something like that? They are the two instruments that sound most like the human voice.
Yeah. I think it's actually been said a few times in like certain rankings and stuff. Like a lot of commentators and etc. I've heard it on like radio talk shows talked about clarinet and said that about it, like while speaking of it. Yeah. But it's this unfortunate thing with that, for example, in the case of Brahms, and like in the case of so much of its repertoire, was so many of the composers that wrote for it ended up dying so soon afterwards. And I'm not sure whether that's because yeah, exactly, which is a bit unfortunate because, for example, Mozart Concerto, that basically like launched the clarinet to
it did.
fame. Let's just say that, or like any kind of staple in the future. But then
he
just went and died
within the clarinet community. The Mozart Clarinet Concerto, or is it like
we don't have much to choose from? It is a well-liked piece. It just becomes incredibly difficult to like get it right in a sense. You know what I mean?
Because all the greats have played it,
especially, and even when it comes to Mozart, it's so difficult for like anyone to know exactly how to go about it. And we don't have that much classical repertoire. We've got a lot of orchestra stuff, but we've not got much like classical repertoire in terms of concerto, chamber music, etc. But actually, no. What am I saying? We've got a bunch of Weber, a bunch of Spohr. We've got quite a lot. But with Mozart, everyone's just so critical with how you go about it.
Of course, yeah.
But it is a well-liked piece, and it's beautiful. The second movement, especially, it's one of the most famous pieces in general, I'd say.
Definitely.
And the Clarinet Concerto is super, super famous.
100%. No, I really like the clarinet. I think it's as I said, I mean, being a singer myself, I'm biased because I love things that have like that lyricism of a voice.
Yeah, exactly.
And I do think the clarinet actually has that. I think it's partly also to do with the fact that you're using your breath.
Yeah.
So, you know, like the music breathes when you're breathing.
Exactly.
And that's a very sort of physical, a very sort of primal way of playing music. I think that's where music came from. Right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of why I've always liked those instruments.
Yeah. Woodwind in general?
I say woodwind in general, but I would say the clarinet especially.
Yeah.
So I'm keen to put clarinet relatively high here.
Yeah.
I don't think it's cranking 90s.
It doesn't crank 90s.
You know, when the sensitivity is right, maybe it cranks a few. But
it cranks a few.
I think in general, you know, it's strategic play. It's more, it hides in buildings. You know, and gets the bolt action sniper out. So I think
it camps.
It camps. Yeah, no, it's a
it goes
camper,
pro.
But it's a good
but it's a good camper.
It's good. They know what they're doing.
It can take you out from half the map.
Absolutely.
I would say, but we're not putting it there. We are putting it on Pulls on a Night Out.
I think Pulls on a
maybe?
Night Out. I mean, it's perhaps a little bit generous, but I really like it.
Yeah.
I think it is a well-liked instrument.
It's a well-liked instrument, and also clarinetists are great people.
They're great people, actually. Yeah, no, I'm very much on board with this.
Okay. Bass clarinet.
Right, the bass clarinet. Now this is, I think when God created man.
Yeah.
God also created the bass clarinet. I think there's a moment there's sort of missing the Bible here. There's some sort of bit of the story that's been taken out because these other people are jealous of the bass clarinet because it received more attention than everything else.
Genuinely, honestly, and you can just hear it in orchestra and symphonic repertoire now, can't you? It's always just got its moment. There's actually a book of like orchestral excerpts for the bass clarinet.
Yeah. Well, you say book, it's a leaflet.
It's like that book.
It's a leaflet.
It's like in someone's program notes, you know.
It's a sticky note.
Like specifically the solos, how many exist.
It's just sort of holding a C or something.
Yeah.
8 bars or something.
Okay, it's so good, the bass clarinet for contemporary music now, though. It's really fantastic.
Yes, it is. And this piece, I heard you playing a concert the other day by Delis.
Yeah, yesterday. Yeah.
Fantastic piece.
It was an amazing. We just unfortunately didn't do justice on the night, really. But it was a fantastic piece, and it was unfortunate because she had to draft it again, actually, because the first one included so many techniques that I hadn't actually learned yet.
Right, oh really?
Well, there's all these sorts of things that you can do with the bass clarinet, but that a lot of people haven't necessarily got around to yet. Let's just say.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'd say what I really liked about it, though, about that piece was in the lower frequencies. I think somebody said this at the bar afterwards, but I totally agree with it. Was that in the moments of like lower frequency, you can't actually tell which instrument's playing, which is extraordinary because you've got like a double bass next to a bass clarinet.
Yeah.
But there were sort of moments
very
where
different
like,
times,
you know,
because
they do.
But they just
together.
kind of that kind of music. You just kind of feel like you're getting vibrated from the bottom up. Basically, you don't even know where it's coming from.
It's kind of a nice sensation.
Yeah,
you know.
It's a cool instrument. It's got 5 ranges, which is really incredible. And when composers,
you mean 5 octave range?
5. Sorry, what am I saying? 5 octave range. Yeah. And when composers actually use that, especially for that in those higher like registers, it can create such a strange effect because you're not used to hearing a traditionally low playing instrument using these harmonics, and that's.
I'd say there's something beautiful about that, though.
No, it's really cool.
Yeah.
It's a different kind of beauty that we're used to hearing.
Definitely.
For example, on the normal clarinet solos, you can tell instantly when it's not the clarinet; it's the bass clarinet.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna give you license to decide where this is going as the bass clarinetist yourself.
I'm actually gonna say it fills out a concert hall.
I think it does.
Because
I
just don't like. There should just be more really going on, you know.
Yeah.
And there's not enough to really go by, but it's going in the right direction there. The bass clarinet. We can.
Well, let's get it in there. You know, people are coming around to it, aren't they?
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah. The oboe. What's going on with the oboe?
Man.
This instrument.
It
does my head in.
It's always a struggle, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But they can do circular breathing.
Always complaining about the reeds. You know?
They can do circular breathing.
Just get one from a packet or something.
Yeah, but I just.
They can circular breathe. Yeah.
What's that? James, you know this. What's that Bach cantata where it's da 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 da?
I can't remember.
Can't remember. You know the one I mean. It's like I can't remember what it's called, but basically like as an oboist you can literally play it all in one breath.
Yeah,
and it's mad. It's like you're watching this guy, and he's like,
and he's just
doing that weird thing where his like cheeks go.
Yeah.
I don't know how they do it.
Yeah. I can circular breathe.
Yes, Vakatav, exactly.
Yeah, I can do it though. I can do it.
Can
it's a party trick. Yeah. I've made a lot of friends that way.
Do it now.
No, because you wouldn't be able to know that stream of air was coming or stopping. So
yeah, okay, I'll be the judge of that.
We do not have the time.
Okay. So what we've learned is that Ed can't. Okay, fine. I can circular.
You got me, guys.
Yeah, I can do it as well. Actually, everybody can do it. Everybody can do it. I can triple breathe. What are you talking about?
Watch one YouTube video, nailed it.
Yeah,
but I like the oboe. It's got a lot of beautiful repertoire. And when the solos from orchestra, it sings like nothing.
It does pierce through.
It pierces through. Like there's no other instrument I can think of that comes through texture.
Sometimes it is
like
slightly in a sort of perturbed way, though. I don't
what
always
do you mean?
think it. I don't always think the fact that it sings through is a good thing. I think there are moments where it's trying to blend. And
it can be a good and a bad thing.
It's sort of because of the way it's also a very sort of primitive instrument, isn't it? It's not really evolved.
No, it hasn't. It's stopped. Because what are you doing sticking pieces of wood together to make a noise? That doesn't seem right at all. Like grow up. Like we've come many years since crafting by the lakes.
Exactly. Out of reed as well.
Exactly.
It's like extraordinary.
Because I play from reeds, obviously, but it's a single reed. And it's just taken straight from the packet, and then I'm done. Job done.
That's not taken straight from the packet.
No, what? It's well,
This is our woodwind correspondent here is making fine work of describing the oboe.
Yeah.
It's making fine work. Look, I think the oboe is pretty ass.
Yeah, the oboe. I'm saying the oboe is.
They're great people.
They're great. Oh, I love them as people. Yeah,
they're great people,
but it's just not one of my favorites, to be honest.
I love that we've sort of included that with basically everything in the lower categories. Like, but we really like them.
Yeah.
Please don't hate us, but it's
we're judging the personalities of the people behind it as well, which is fair enough, because that's actually
you have to.
Because I love most people.
Yeah,
I play most of these instruments.
Definitely.
Most of the time.
Right.
The bassoon.
Oh mate, it's so bad, isn't it? What's that classic joke that they like the bassoon sounds like a farting bedpost?
Yeah, and even when it gets
does,
played really well, you're still thinking like, is Is that how it's meant to be?
Mate, the worst is the Baroque bassoon.
Yeah.
It just is awful. It's like
I'm not even sure how much
raspy
Baroque bassoon I've actually heard.
Oh, mate. There's a reason for that, definitely.
But I don't think the bassoon nowadays has even come that far from the manufacturing of the Baroque bassoon.
It's just so bad,
Yeah.
But it's like, but there's so many people who play it.
It's just got such a strange noise. Like, why does it sound like that? Mate. It sounds like it's got like a cloth in it the whole time as well. It's never like clear.
Yeah, but it's also mate. It's getting on the Barbie.
It's getting on the Barbie. I reckon the bassoon goes straight on the Barbie.
It's just awful instrument, man. Right, the French horn. Tchaikovsky, Romeo and Juliet.
Split notes.
Split notes. This is the balance, because I totally agree with you. I think it's similar.
It's so beautiful though. It's probably the most beautiful sound in the orchestra.
But I would say similar to the double bass. It's such a difficult instrument to play. It's like even like a good or like mediocre French hornist will split relatively sort of trivial notes.
But that's because I think actually, even out of all these instruments, it's probably actually one of the hardest to learn. It's up there with organ. It just has its own ways of being so difficult.
But I don't
understand to maintain the kind of embouchure that you need to keep things consistent, and to get to that level in the first place just sounds impossible.
I agree with this, but I just don't understand how an instrument can be so hard that like you're splitting notes occasionally. I don't get that. I mean, like, look, I don't play the French horn. I have like an admiration for those who do.
Because what it is that it's not because they're splitting when they're saying on a consistent note. It's the jumps they have to do. For clarinet, we have a different fingering for every note. But for French horn, they only have, it sounds, not 3. They have more than 3 with the combinations. But for most of the notes, they have to change the embouchure to get there. So then when they're doing that under pressure, they might overshoot it, because you can't really know how your mouth is looking exactly.
Overshoot it, man. These guys are useless.
every time after a concert, guys.
Always in the bar, just sort of drinking the pain away.
Yeah, exactly. That's not the French ones. That's the guilty of the other. That's the brass instruments.
The other brass
far more guilty of that.
We're in trouble here.
Okay, but I reckon we put that. I want to put that on quite a high level, actually. I think.
Do you think they put on a night out?
I think we put a night out. The French.
Okay,
and I don't think that's being too nice either.
I think that's generous. I'll be honest.
I think that's
But I think we've been relatively harsh so far. So I think a bit of generosity is going to go a long way.
I just think it is so beautiful. Like Brahms 1, fourth movement. Go give it a listen. French horns when they come in. Well, that better be the French horns. Actually, I think it's the French horns. Yeah, but it's top. It's better be the French horns. No, I think it is. It's a top moment.
Okay.
Trumpet.
The trumpet.
Yeah, fair enough.
You know what I love about the trumpet is jazz trumpet. It's so good.
I'll tolerate its existence.
Oh, come on. No. Actually...
Well, we need to be talking about this in a classical... You're right, jazz trumpet.
You're right,
we need to speak about this in a classical frame, because they're actually basically two different instruments at that point.
They are.
They can do a lot.
But I want to... Before we put it in the tolerate your existence and just sort of alienate every trumpet player we've ever known, I will say that it is a great instrument for jazz.
It's like I
love it
awesome.
far more than sax.
Yeah,
jazz, genuinely, and I think that's probably quite controversial.
And also even in orchestra, when the trumpet puts the mute in, and they have all these different ones.
Yes.
Oh, it's so good.
Gershwin,
it gets so angry.
Gershwin, orchestral stuff.
Yeah.
With the trumpets, it's so good. Like American in Paris.
It's insane actually.
It's awesome.
I don't know.
See, exactly. Now we're thinking it does fill out a concert hall, man.
It does fill out a concert hall.
It does. We have to. I know it's getting a lot of. It's getting a lot of love that fills out a concert hall.
Yeah, we need to
get to the singers. These guys aren't filling out anywhere.
They get roasted.
They're not even filling out a garden shed. Okay, the trombone.
Okay, what am I? Yeah, but
it's fine.
Your hair's like they stand on end when the trombones come in. Usually, they have the moments that really matter in orchestra.
But they do. But I sort of think they're the viola players, aren't they, of brass instruments?
Well, that's kind of more like. Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, I suppose.
I think so. No, because yes, I agree. They have their,
but they're also they kind of sing the the loudest. They can project like you've never heard it.
They can project, and I was saying brass bands and stuff. They're fantastic.
They're cool. They're great. And actually, trombone solos can be so cool as well.
They can be cool, but
when someone's nailed the little.
You don't get much variation in tone, though. I don't think.
No, you're right.
It's like you get the same sound.
You get often the same sound.
And it's a beautiful sound, and I wouldn't take away from that, but I just think
it could go back to the short shop and get looked at that one. I
think so.
Yeah.
It needs a patch update as well.
Yeah,
maybe there should have been another.
That's stuck on Minecraft 0.4. It needs to grow up.
Yeah,
exactly. So we'll put the trombone on. I'll tolerate the existence.
I think I tolerate the existence.
Perfect.
Because I would. I do like it,
but
it's just
it just needs to grow up a little bit. That's all.
I think so. I think
tuba.
Man, these guys' faces go so red when they play, don't they?
Oh, they love it though.
When the chick's like.
Yeah, and I can't say I've ever heard a single actual tuba note in orchestra unless it's just them playing, which is kind of rare. Maybe that's just me not listening enough. But I do like what they do for the sound. You
Yeah,
know,
I think we should
they contribute to the world.
We know so little about this. I feel like it's an insult to tubas to talk too much. I think we've got to tolerate its existence.
Tolerate its existence. Yeah,
I think so because it's a beautiful instrument.
Yeah.
And it has its function.
Yeah.
But again, I'm not going to a concert because of the tuba.
Yeah. No,
Definitely.
you don't see tuba concerto and get excited really. That's
No,
true.
definitely. Like saxophone.
Saxophone, I get a bit annoyed by sometimes because like they've just got it kind of easy in some sense, you know.
Yeah.
Like they work hard, right? Don't get me wrong,
All of
but
them.
the nature
Every
of the
single one of
instrument
them
means
do
that
it.
you can basically play anything and like not get any notes wrong because their holes are covered rather than like the clarinet
true,
or the bassoon,
true.
which is you need to like get
It's
it
like
perfectly
almost like a
right.
technique to pressing the
Exactly.
button.
So they're just there faffing about, you know, and somehow sounds perfect, basically.
So this is the thing is I think we've got to go back to the argument with the trumpet where for jazz the saxophone is great. You know?
Yeah.
I still love it for jazz.
It's really cool.
But
it's really cool.
classically, what's the classical saxophone?
Well, there's
doing?
hardly anything
There's
it's
hardly
actually
anything.
involved in.
There's probably
Like, there's like a
reasons why.
Vaughan Williams symphony and a bit of Gershwin as well.
Yeah, they're good blokes though.
Huh?
They're good blokes.
They're often
chaps
good
and
blokes.
chapettes.
Yeah, I do like them. And also when they've got like a big family of instruments that they can experiment with, which can be quite cool. So I reckon we put them in maybe.
I think ass man. For classical.
rough.
For classical saxophone
Okay.
though.
Classical saxophone. Yeah, there's nothing, is there?
There's
Okay,
not really
let's
anything.
establish that's our reasoning.
That is
Okay,
the reasoning.
let's
No,
move.
it's a lovely instrument, but classically, I've never got behind it really.
Yeah, no. It needs to go up.
I don't
Ass.
even want to tolerate its existence, to be honest. Let's get this out.
I don't have to in orchestra, so I guess
Exactly.
That's the
Yeah,
point.
there you go. Right.
Take
Here
the
we
stage,
are.
take
We're
the
on
stage,
to
mate. I'm going quiet now.
Soprano. Oh no, you don't need to be quiet. So this is obviously a
With
picture of Maria
soprano.
Callas. But no, we're not just judging her. We're judging all sopranos here.
Yeah.
The great sopranos. I mean, unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like, you listen to the Casta Diva. You've listened to the great soprano arias.
Yes.
Like there aren't many noises that are more beautiful. But we are so like. Oh, I just feel like we're overrun right now with. I just don't like sopranos.
But like,
I just
why
don't
are
like the
they all, like-
voices.
is it the voices that you don't like? I don't like the fact that every single one is such a prima donna, though. Like,
Yeah,
it's not just a stereotype.
I'm gonna
it's true.
plead the fifth here and not really
And not-
get too
not
much into
contribute.
this.
Delineation between operatic sopranos and choral sopranos.
No, let's go operatic. I think
Okay.
let's do opera. Here, I've got to be very
we might have
careful.
to
with
cut
what I
the
say
bit. We might have to
now,
cut
yeah.
the
I
bit
mean-
about what I just said as well.
No,
I'm
I don't think so. No, I mean, like, look, sopranos have a reputation for being prima donnas.
Yeah.
I think
It's a
there's
reputation.
Definitely reason for that.
It's not all of them. I like a lot of them, but you know what I mean. I can sort of hear it coming through. Yeah,
Definitely.
I suppose they sort of need to be like that because in any opera, the soprano is usually the one that carries the entire thing,
It's just such a.
and then like all the other roles are just sort of at the side.
It's
They're
just
like
not.
trees or
It's
something.
it's not an easy tessitura to make sound beautiful.
Exactly.
Because it's so high and you're on edge, and the way that you sing opera with so much blade and a ring and like kind of that sort of bite in the sound, to make it sound like that mellow sound as well when you're singing at such a high tessitura, it's basically not done really.
No, it doesn't. No, it's not easy. I can't imagine how they do that when they come out on stage. And
Yeah, and
I
even
would need to
when
be
you go
popping,
to
like 6 beta blockers before that, honestly.
yeah,
it'd
and
be
even when
ridiculous.
you go to some of the top opera houses and stuff, I've been and I've heard sopranos whose voices I have just simply not liked and not found pleasant to listen to.
Yeah.
And that again, I would say is an issue.
It is impressive though what they can do and how they've accessed like areas of their vocal range which shouldn't even be possible.
Definitely.
I'm impressed with all singers to be honest, but sopranos they can nail it.
I think the difficult thing with ranking this is that if you're looking at the great sopranos like Maria Callas or Birgit Nilsson or they're the only two sopranos I can name. No, I'm joking. Like Renée Fleming and stuff. They crank 90s. They crank serious.
They crank 90s.
But
there are just a lot
there's
that
a
don't.
lot of that don't crank.
Should we
90s.
say that they
I don't. I think they. I want to tolerate their existence, man. I don't
Tolerate their
I'm
existence.
not that impressed by them. I must
Okay.
admit.
All right, fine.
I've heard some very beautiful soprano singing. From my colleagues at college as well. You're blown away. But I just think a lot of the register stuff.
Just get a little bit raspy
It winds me
sometimes.
up a little bit.
Mm,
Yeah. Right.
okay.
Let's move on to mezzo sopranos. I like these guys.
Are these like the violas of the singing world out of interest?
No. Well.
Because they're never
again,
like
no comment.
because they just don't. They don't get the same moment that the sopranos do. Like in
They
any
don't.
case.
There is some great rep for them, but I'd say what lets them down is they have a lot of roles, which operatically we sort of old women roles.
Yeah.
So this is what mezzos have is that they either have like quite romantic roles or they have the old women roles.
Yeah, but you can be more rich with that kind of like register that you're dealing with because you're not always having to like reach for things.
Exactly.
You're sort of more comfortable.
I like
And
the
so
tone of mezzos.
The tone can
It's
be really
beautiful,
lovely. I think.
I definitely think so. I think mezzos deserve to be in a slightly higher category, in my opinion.
Perfect. So we put them in Phil's out concert hall.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think a mezzo fills out a concert hall.
Yeah. Okay. Next.
This is a contralto.
Yeah,
These guys are useless, man.
Yeah.
No, but genuinely, they don't exist.
Do you even know what a contralto is?
Yeah, exactly. They barely exist. Right?
Yeah.
It's such a rare voice type.
Yeah.
And they're such. I mean, this is
How have you managed to get them in this
Ferrier.
list? How have you managed to get them in this list and you've forgotten the E flat clarinet?
I thought they'd feel left out. You know?
Yeah, true. And you know enough people that it might be offensive, so.
Absolutely, yeah. No, the contralto is a beautiful voice, but I think the fact that most contralto parts in operas these days are done by mezzos because they can't find contraltos says that actually, do we even need to tolerate its existence?
Good point. That's a great reason.
We don't need to.
No.
Ass feels harsh, but because Kathleen Ferrier, who's the contralto on the picture, she is far from ass.
Yeah.
She's a fantastic singer, but I say as a generalization, they do not really have so much for function.
We're going for ass then.
They make some mental noises. There's videos online of like these old-fashioned contraltos from like the sort of early 20th century singing, like old school vinyl. And when they sing in their lower register, it literally sounds like a man. They developed their registers so much that you're surprised when you see that it's a beautiful woman.
And that is amazing.
And that is amazing.
Just the same way that going high is really cool, going like low as a woman is really, really cool. Yeah.
But again, like, it's pretty niche, isn't it?
Yeah.
You don't need it.
All right, we'll be moving
swiftly
swiftly on from that one.
Right, countertenor. Oh, these guys, man. We're just gonna...
Give me an example of like a beautiful countertenor.
I don't think there is one. Is there one? Yeah.
Countertenor. Oh, no. Well, there we go.
No, look, countertenor, there's a guy who left college a few years ago called Hugh Cutting, who's, I think, already widely known for being one of the like great countertenors around. And I must admit, when I hear him sing, it's like amazing. It's beautiful. But there's also, because obviously it's like one of the most unnatural instruments. Like hearing a man stand up and basically produce the noise of a prepubescent boy.
Yeah.
And there again,
that's the one. It's the kind of castrato vibe.
Yeah. It's like the la 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 that everybody sort of thinks they can do.
Yeah.
And I do have some admiration for it.
Yeah.
But I'm just sorry. Like, can we just put them on the Barbie?
Let's put them on the Barbie.
Can we put them on the Barbie?
Yeah.
It
has its moments, but just like all these instruments have their moment, even the piccolo.
Yeah. And you know, like the bassoon, the piccolo doesn't have its moments.
Piccolo doesn't have moments. If
I could go back in time, if I had one wish right now, my wish would be to go back in time and remove the piccolo from the history of the planet. You know?
I know. Why don't they just create some like bigger one or something? Actually, there is, but it's just not used enough. Yeah, it's like
that's a big piccolo.
Like, instead of going down the smaller route when you've got the flute, just make some huge thing.
Definitely. Right, the tenor.
Well, you've got a photo of Pavarotti, which also already just makes me happy, to be honest. Because I'm just imagining Nessun Dorma in my head now. I'm going,
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I almost can't really speak it because you know how I feel about this. I mean, it is just the greatest noise of all time. They were. You know, like these guys.
Ranking given by two non-biased classical musicians.
Seats. Yeah, the tenor.
Okay.
Look, the problem is with tenors is that we don't pull on a night out. So you can't put it in that category. So it's either Serious 90.
When we say pulls on a night out, we're imagining if the instrument grew legs and walked into the club, not if the players of that instrument.
No, you're right, I know, but I'm just trying to find justification to put it in the highest category.
So, fine.
A great tenor singing a great role.
No, there's just, also...
I will say from a vocal sort of pedagogical perspective, it is the hardest thing to do as a singer.
Yeah.
As an operatic singer, it's the hardest voice type to sing because of the pure physicality of making those noises.
Yeah.
Like as a male voice to be singing basically in the tessitura of a woman.
Well, surely the countertenor's harder then.
No, because they don't sing it in their chest voice.
Oh, they
in their
sing
full
it
voice. They sing it in their falsetto. So to be able to develop that register takes years of training.
Also, I don't think, like, looking at tenors and looking at Pavarotti, there's any other more famous classical performer than Pavarotti.
Definitely not.
There's no way. You just say that name and people anywhere know.
People anywhere know this guy,
can picture it.
And also, going on to Pavarotti for a second, I know we're not really, like, specifically talking about him here, but he was such a good bloke. You know, he gave back so much to his community, to his local towns, to charities.
Really?
He did so many concerts he did a concert with Bono, where he was like raising money for, I can't remember, it was like was it I don't know if it was Kosovo or something, but that was like a awful humanitarian crisis somewhere in Eastern Europe.
Yeah.
And he basically flew out there and gave a concert.
Seriously?
With like really Bono. Cool. He's recorded with Brian Adams? He's recorded with Brian Adams, like great Canadian pop star. Like these people love working with him.
Yeah.
Because he made an instrument. What is like such a weird sort of, because the voice of a tenor is strange because it's so high as a male, but he made it want to be listened to, and I think that is justification for putting it in Cranky 90s.
Fine,
we're doing it.
Yeah, we actually haven't got that much going there, so let's go for it.
Definitely. Right, baritones.
Baritones.
I like them. I like baritones. They make good noises. It's a very easy voice to listen to because it's a warm sound.
Yeah.
You know, tenors have to focus on like getting a lot of like ping into the sound because otherwise they won't be heard because they don't have that natural sort of gravitas that baritones do, and that's why I quite like baritones. You know, they don't. If you have a well-trained Barry, they're not struggling.
No, but they're very comfortable with the range, so they're lucky with that. They're
very comfortable with the range, and that makes it nice to listen to.
Yeah, exactly.
You're sort of never on the edge of your seat thinking, is he going to get that note?
Yeah.
You know, which actually sometimes can be like a real asset. It's sometimes exciting to be like, oh, you know, he's
you're quite gripped by like.
But sometimes
it seems like a reach.
I think when you sing leader or song, which is, you know, when you split these singers, you know, the genres of music they sing, opera and song are the two main ones.
Yeah.
They're actually separate. And song, when you sing song, you don't really want that sort of edge of your seat. Are they going to get the note feeling? You want to be listening to the story. You want to be going on the journeys with the singers.
Yeah.
And that's why I think the baritone really does. I think they do well there.
Shall we say they pull a night out? Okay, perfect. Well, because they don't have as many like main moments as tenors. Maybe.
Also the chap on this picture, Dmitry Fortosky, Russian baritone, like incredible voice.
Yeah,
you know, like could sing actually a similar range to tenors. Actually, he had such great technique, and it just made it such a pleasant sound to listen to.
Yeah.
Definitely. Right, we're going to move on to the bass now. We've actually picked a picture of bass, who's one of our good friends, David Fraser.
Yes.
Or as is known these days, Tracksuit Opera.
Yes, and is now doing extremely well.
Growing his platform fantastically.
Taking his talent, showing it to the world.
Raising awareness for classical music to different communities. David, this guy makes some weird noises, man. Like,
incredible noises.
Incredible noises.
He can actually go lower than my bass clarinet.
He can go lower than the piano.
He can go lower than the piano.
That is ridiculous. And he sat there.
But that's not every bass. This guy.
This guy.
This guy's cracked. This guy's cracked.
This guy's cracked, but I can't say that I don't think he cranks 90s.
Well, we're talking about the bass voice in general.
Yeah, the bass voice in general.
Other examples.
I must admit,
Tom honed in.
Yeah, I must.
Talk about personal.
Yeah.
Because David Fraser, like as a musician, cranks 90s.
Oh, sorry. Actually, I need to justify that. David Fraser, he cranks some serious. Can I have like a minute to talk like straight to a camera?
Go for it.
I'm incredibly sorry, and I rescind my comments, David. David cranks mega 90s. This guy can do whatever he wants. Yeah. But basses in general. That's kind of what I'm trying to say. Is that
it's rare though. They are rare.
They're rare, but
people are going like trips to Siberia, getting their vocal cords like stretched out just to like get that sonority, you know.
Do they?
No, but like
I was like, is this something I haven't learned yet? You know, my RCM
but
studies.
It is not. No one's really like. Not many people are born with a voice that can like do that, especially with any kind of volume. Like it's crazy.
Yeah, look, it is. It's a beautiful instrument, but again, we have to look and think like, you know, do they really make a big impact on the classical music world? No, because there's not enough of them.
There's not enough of them, exactly.
And I think there's that very famous.
Are there really not that many basses?
No. I mean, there's a lot of bass baritones.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And these are basically, I would say, a bass baritone is really a baritone with that kind of like extended bottom.
I mean, okay, yeah, I guess.
This guy.
Well, you actually looked at me first.
I know.
That's how many sopranos and tenors there are.
I mean, no, tenors are rare as well.
But yeah, okay. No, I love the bass voice.
I do love the bass
when
voice.
It's like projected, etc.
Should we say they fill out a concert hall? Would you say pulls on a night out?
There's not enough of them, is there really? There's just
I just don't think there
not
is
enough bass, even in opera. Everything, the roles. There's some great ones, but they're not enough really.
Definitely.
Should we say fills out?
I think they fill out a concert hall.
Yeah,
I think they really do. There's some great bass like Kurt Moll, great bass. Cesare Siepi, great Italian bass.
Because you need in all the instances of all these instruments, like you need the repertoire to justify the instrument. You can't just go with anything else. Like some of them, they all have beautiful,
and they all sing the same repertoire.
A lot of them have beautiful sounds, you know. But it's just like what they've been dealt with, you know. Yeah, exactly.
I hate them so much. Not them, sorry. I hate the instrument so much. I'm sure they're lovely people. It's just they happen to choose such an awful instrument.
No, I know. Exactly. Well, no one actually chooses the piccolo. He's sort of like me with the bass clarinet. You just get thrown it and told to go away. Drum kit, right?
Fate worse than death. The drum kit, yeah. I mean, look.
I'm just picturing that impossible Ziff Suite room that no one can enter now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And there's always a percussionist who sat there like on their phone as well. I've never seen anybody actually practicing the percussion in there.
Even in concerts, I'm pretty sure I've seen a few like a bit of TikTok.
Yeah, a bit of TikTok action going on back.
Well, percussionist is slightly different from drum kit.
Yeah, I feel feel like maybe we shouldn't have even had drum kit.
No,
on,
drum kit doesn't really count.
Okay.
Let's say tolerate its existence and move on.
Yeah, let's tolerate existence and move on. Look, the drum kit is fantastic in other genres.
And we've got timpani next, no?
Timpani, yeah.
Beautiful. Timpani's great, just does the same thing over and over again.
Yeah, but there's some, like, you know, Sprack, which we know is one of your great pieces. You know.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, exactly.
He loves it.
Well, that's the moment, sure, but it's literally just triplets.
I know. I feel like we're going to be harsh to percussionists here, aren't we?
Oh, a bit. Well, yeah, I don't know. I like it. It's just that it's kind of like the beat drop of the classical world.
It's difficult because if you
right now we've got Davey G in the house, and you know, and Robin Schultz, etc. We've got all of these lads doing their own thing, but they're lucky. They've got Logic. Back in the day,
this is how Beethoven got the rave started.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
how did the club get down? Oh, someone bring through the timpani. You know,
their vintage Sauvignon Blancs.
Yeah, exactly.
Listening and just sort of dabbing in the corner.
I love watching the timpani players in concerts. They're always like.
Yeah, no, it's exactly. It's like they're playing.
They're really suspicious.
I still don't know what is that.
It's because like as they hit the drum, the tight it gets looser. I think. So then the tuning changes and they have to keep tightening it. I think that's how it works.
But that is impressive skill in its own right, though. To be able
because
to
they
do
can
that
hear
in the
tuning just
exactly
so easily.
Mate,
I can't even hear tuning while I'm tuning.
I want to put it in Phil's Out of Concert Hall. I know there's a lot of them, but I really do think it does. Like
it just needs a few more moments, I reckon.
Definitely.
Less of those rolls. I've heard enough of it. Oh, bass drum is so cool though. Can we just put bass drum like Crank's 90s?
I can't go 90s.
It's so cool, the bass drum. Like it just projects, man.
It does project, but like, come on, that's just one job.
Oh, yeah, but like, it does it,
I think Crank Serious 90s has to be reserved for those instruments which have like a vital role in the classical music.
Fine. Bass drum.
Bro, bass drum, they pulled on night out. I've been on night out with these guys.
Yeah,
and
they
just it's like the worst phrasing I could possibly say.
First day.
James, you're gonna have to bleep that bit, mate.
First day.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Right. Let's put it on the pause and night out and move on quickly, please.
It's not live. It's not live.
We're gonna have to cut it.
Okay. All
right. Cymbals.
Okay. Cymbals.
Trash.
Cymbals are trash.
Yeah, they have their function. But I'm not missing them.
No, they don't do anything.
Also,
the one job that a cymbal player has is just to like play on time and then not let the noise.
Yeah, and sometimes they can't even do that, can they? I must admit, my flatmate is a very good cymbal player. He was playing today in the opera and he was like hitting it.
You're never really a cymbal.
Hitting it, catching.
You're never really a cymbal player.
Okay, like percussionist, but he was like there was this bit where he was like playing these like cymbal notes. And he was hitting, catching, like really quickly. And I was like, well, that's impressive. So we can't burn it.
No.
Also, it wouldn't because it's metal. It wouldn't burn.
You
do
need the level of coordination.
Right. Let's get the xylophone right now.
Xylophone.
It makes those like sort of like nature
what's the
kind
difference
of noises.
between xylophone, marimba, all of this? I played with a marimba player yesterday, but I still don't. I don't
well,
know.
I mean, xylophone and marimba are just simply different instruments.
No, they're the same.
Yeah, fair enough. They are the same. Yeah. So what does that mean? What does that mean in this discussion? You know, I feel like we could have a whole podcast episode where we talk about the difference between the marimba. Actually, we can't because there's no difference.
And also, we don't have any idea.
Yeah, but that's part of why it could be such a roller coaster of emotions.
True.
We go on this like spiritual journey of trying to understand percussion.
Yeah, exactly.
It could be beautiful. Look, it exists. I'm fine with that.
It exists. I'm fine with that as well.
Yeah,
we can just throw it there. And like cool in like contemporary music, it gets the nature effect across, and you can like hear little water drops. You're like, that's pleasant.
Definitely right, Glock. Mate, Hedwig's theme.
And what else?
Crank's 90s. No, like I was saying, if we were to put percussionists in one big category, they would be seriously high up. But this is what I sort of feel like we're doing is that we're taking what is a whole family of instruments, of instruments which simply don't have the depth that other instruments have. Yeah. Because they are meant to be played together. That's why percussionists play all of them.
The fact is you need a rhythm section in any piece to to really feel it and enjoy it. Except with a lot of percussion, it does that in its own ways and it's great.
Definitely.
It's just that how can you really judge like the emotional capacity is capable of like projecting 100%. Across to sort of audience?
100%.
It's just a bit of skin on a
I mean, again, are we tolerating its existence? I think we are.
We'll tolerate existence.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think that for Hedwig's theme,
for the next three apart from the triangle,
the snare drum.
Okay, snare drum. What am I thinking? Bolero. Cool. Snare drum's cool. Yeah,
like
it's all a bit marching bandy though, isn't it?
It is a bit marching
bandy. It's a bit sort of.
Yeah, but I'm okay with that. Composers always use it when they want to get a bit of military in it.
You're right. Shostakovich nails it with the snare drum. It's like Symphony 7, I think.
Because it carries so well.
It really does.
It's like they're barely hitting it with the sticks, and it's like...
Yeah. You're right. Actually, I like the snare drum. And what am I talking about? I think snare drum pulls on a night out.
Mate, it does not pull on a night out.
Okay, I reckon it fills out a concert hall.
It fills out a concert hall.
Okay, it fills out a concert hall.
I refuse to put snare drums on the same tier as violins. Which we've already done with the bass drum. Now
I sometimes forget which other instruments are included in these lists.
And the clarinet as well.
I'm also suspicious of that being up there. I reckon if we talked more about that.
Concert hall. This is good.
Yeah.
Right. Is it a tambourine or a tam-tam? I mean, it's a tambourine, right?
Yeah, it's a tambourine. I like it, but I can't really think of any major moments the tambourine has, to be honest. I mean, it's got some of that like Latin vibe going in some of that symphonic work.
It does, man. But come on.
But yeah, what we doing?
It's going on the Barbie. Also, it's played by. It's like one of the instruments that's played by like.
I nailed the tambourine when I was like 6 years old, so I don't really.
That's what I was going to say. It's played by kids. It's like that there can't be much like sophistication to it if you're giving it to sort of 4 or 5 year olds in early music education.
Exactly.
You're saying right, off you go.
Yeah.
Because you're not doing that with the French horn, are you?
No.
Right, get it on the Barbie. Come on.
Okay, and triangle.
Mate, triangle. Okay, I've actually got a reason. I've been thinking about this. It cranks. No, and I'll tell you why. Because when I'm younger, I'm going to classical music concerts and I'm looking and thinking, I'm never going to be able to do this. I see that dude at the back of the triangle and I think, I could genuinely do that right now at this moment. I could do that.
I swear some of them have like one job. They don't even move around the back. They just stay
they sit there with their triangle.
Yeah.
There must be a guy out there whose whole job is triangle. He
No,
doesn't touch any
100%.
percussion.
Yeah.
He's probably got this like gold-plated triangle. That,
yeah.
That sounds like you're sort of the bells of heaven.
Yeah. Also, I watched this video where like these guys were like trying out percussion instruments like with a professional.
Yeah.
And like the professional was acting like there was kind of like all sorts going on for the triangle, but it was complete waffle. Like
he's like playing it.
Yeah, the beginners
exactly the same both times. He's like, but can you hear the difference? And you're like,
so what you did was this, and what I did was this. I was thinking, no.
Even musicians are like,
come on, mate.
But because of the fact that like it's like I don't want to say it's so easy because I'm going to get like ripped to shreds by percussionists in the comments. But come on, we all look at that. My dad does this all the time. He's a non-musician, or he certainly would have claimed to have been one when he was younger. But he is, I think now would consider himself to be a non-musician, and he looks at the triangle and just thinks like anyone could do that.
Complete waffle. Yeah.
So I want to say that you can take it up with my dad, not with me.
So,
but yeah, cranky 90s.
Cranky 90s,
definitely,
100%. Okay.
Right. I mean, look, like we've done
this is justice.
If you think about
justice to the whole classical world, I'd say.
I don't think this conversation needs to be had by anybody else ever.
No, we've done it.
I think this is it. It's like,
in fact, I think this should be posted on the back of concert programs just so people can see.
I think so, and I think beyond that, I think new composers can look at this list and think,
absolutely,
who am I going to write a piece for? Well, there's not many triangle concertos out there, are there?
Not at all.
And I think we all need to see that from a diversity perspective as well. I sort of feel like they are underrepresented.
Yeah, and now it means that no percussionists can truly hate us for putting the tambourine at the bottom because we have put the triangle at the top. So there we go,
mate. We've I mean, apart from the fact that down in the bottom tier we've got no string instruments, right? We've got 2 woodwind instruments.
Yeah,
but they do suck. We've got like a literal person on there, which I must admit now, looking at it, I'm feeling that's a bit distasteful. But then again, we've got Kathleen Ferrier next to ass, and that could be taken out of context. Could be the end of our internet careers.
We've already ended it. Well, no, not the internet ones yet. Our normal ones.
Yeah. Our normal careers have ended though because we're so bad at our instruments
in the first place. I should put it that way.
We're so useless.
Yeah, they were.
If we were on this list, we are putting ourselves on the Barbies, and we're slow roasting ourselves.
We were sub Barbie, we'd be.
No, we're slow roasting ourselves like fan 180.
Yeah, exactly. But I do think now it would be probably a good time to wrap it up because this has taken a while, maybe longer than it needed to. But we've given each instrument their moment, exactly. And there's also many more instruments out there, but it would be an all-day kind of.
We would do them an injustice because we don't know them enough. I was asked to do the bagpipes. Yeah. I just think bagpipes.
No, because orchestral, like, come on.
Again, come on, it's like.
Yeah, and there are a bunch of auxiliary, like, woodwind instruments, but it does take a while.
The bagpipes really do sound like cats being dragged down a motorway. Yeah. Very loudly. Quite a lot of cats, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, great.
Okay,
should we wrap it up?
Let's wrap it up.
Thank
you, everybody.
Yeah, so on that note, goodbye. Thank you for listening, and see you next week.
Awesome.